Among several other Greek mythologies, the myth of Prometheus is an excellent example of events that invite us to think about the nature of divine power and goodness. The story beautifully highlights the tension between authority and compassion and challenges us to think about the reasons behind suffering and the value of self-sacrifice. Prometheus was one of the most well-known titans in Greek mythology. He was known for being extremely clever and also very compassionate for the humans. According to the legends, Prometheus was blessed with the ability to breathe life into humans after creating them from clay, and since they were his creation, Prometheus had great love for them and wanted them to thrive. According to Greek mythology, fire had not been discovered among humans, and since it was an extremely important commodity, people used to live in darkness and struggle for warmth, cooking food, and protection. Legends believe that it was Zeus, the king of gods, who had forbidden fire for humans because he believed that only gods should have such power. Upon seeing their struggles, Prometheus felt sorry for humans and decided to steal the fire from the gods and bring it to the earth. He accomplished his purpose, and this gift of fire altered the lives of humans for good. They could now cook food, stay warm, and make tools and weapons. However, Zeus, upon discovering that Prometheus had stolen fire and given it to humans, was extremely furious. This kind of act of Prometheus was a challenge to Zeus' authority. Prometheus was captured and was ordered to be chained to a rock on an isolated mountain. On Zeus' demand, an eagle would visit Prometheus every day and eat his liver. Prometheus was immortal, so the eaten part of the liver would grow back, and the eagle would fly back every day to torment Prometheus. This retribution was meant to last forever. This event raised a very tempting question. Is Zeus really all good and all-powerful, or there is an imbalance between his authority and compassion? Zeus' decision of not to give humans the fire despite their hardships, and then punishing Prometheus for going against his will, indicates that Zeus isn't all good. After all, he seems more concerned with maintaining his power and control than the well-being of humans. The fact that Prometheus was able to steal fire and fulfill an act that's forbidden by extremely powerful Zeus shows he isn't all-powerful too, and that his powers can be challenged. Since the entire story comes from mythology, its legitimacy and authenticity are always questionable. So what happened to Prometheus? We'll get back to it in just a couple of minutes. However, the point of this story is to bring this contentious question to the limelight. Is God all good and all-powerful at the same time? And is that even possible? This is a classical issue in the philosophy of religion, known as the problem of evil or theodicy. It can be broken down into two major parts. Number one, if God is all good, he cannot be all-powerful. This half of the sentence suggests that if God is all good, it's really hard to believe that he is all-powerful. There is too much evil in this world, too much injustice and inequality. Life isn't fair, isn't a very common phrase to throw around, and it is basically us acknowledging the fact that it's pretty common to see from the dawn of mankind that just because you're a good person and you're doing the right thing, it is not guaranteed that good will happen to you too. The fact that rewards for being a good person and doing good deeds aren't guaranteed instantly raises the question: if God is all good, why is there so much evil, injustice, and inequality? Only two logical answers arise. A. He's all-powerful but just doesn't care. B. Or he is just not all-powerful after all. Second part of the statement: if he is all-powerful, He is not all good. This part persists that if an all-powerful God exists, and yet allows evil and suffering, it challenges the notion of his complete goodness. The controversy is that a truly good being would use his powers to prevent suffering, injustice, and evil. However, the existence of these three in abundance suggests a limitation in God's goodness, assuming he has the power to eliminate it but chooses not to. This idea of if God is all good, then he isn't all-powerful, and vice versa, isn't a modern topic, but it has been a central issue in the philosophy of religion, especially while discussing the problem of evil. This discussion can be traced back to ancient Greeks. Epicurus, an ancient Greek philosopher who lived between 341 to 270 BCE, is known to be the one who talked about the problem of evil thousands of years ago. He is recognized for having said, "Is God willing to prevent evil, but not able? Then he is not omnipotent. Is he able but not willing? Then he is malevolent. Is he both able and willing? Then whence cometh evil? Is he either able nor willing? Then why call him God?" His questions were later called the Epicurus paradox. Other theologians and philosophers such as Augustine of Hippo and Thomas Aquinas had also wrestled with this dilemma, and this is their stance on this matter. Augustine believed that evil is basically a result of human free will and absence of good, while Aquinas, another influential philosopher and theologian, developed a more systematic approach, attempting to reconcile God's omnipotence and omnibenevolence with the existence of evil. Many philosophers and theologians end the discussion on this topic by agreeing on the point that the existence of an all-good and all-powerful God is simply impossible to coexist with the presence of evil in the world. Although this dilemma is pretty much unanswerable, there are a handful of responses and defenses registered by various philosophers and theologians. For example, free will defense. This argument suggests that God gave humans free will, and the existence of evil is a result of human misuse of this free will. This defense posits that the value of free will is so significant that it justifies the existence of evil. Soul-making theodicy, proposed by philosophers like John Hick. This theodicy argues that the presence of evil and suffering is necessary for spiritual growth and development. According to this view, a world without challenges and suffering would not allow for the development of virtues like courage, compassion, and empathy. Greater good defense. Some argue that the existence of certain evils is necessary for the realization of greater goods that overweigh the evils. For example, some forms of suffering might lead to greater empathy or social improvements. Here's my favorite one: skeptical theism. This perspective maintains the human beings, with their limited understanding, cannot comprehend God's reasons for permitting evil. From this viewpoint, the existence of evil does not necessarily contradict the existence of all-powerful and all-good God, as divine reasons might be beyond human understanding. If we think about it, there is so little that we actually know about us and our existence. Besides speculations, we don't actually really know when this universe actually started. We do have a figure of 13.8 billion years, which we got with the help of telescope, but at the end of the day, it is an estimate. We don't know about our origin. Who was the first human to walk on this planet? Different religions have different claims. Then again, they are just claims. The question of whether an all-good, all-powerful God can coexist with evil is a profound and enduring issue in philosophy and theology. It has been debated for millennia and continues to be a significant topic of discussion. Although we humans have been programmed to constantly find answers about everything around us, there is a certain peace in accepting the fact that we won't be able to understand everything in this universe. And it's totally fine if you're still thinking about what happened to Prometheus. He was eventually rescued after many years by Hercules or Heracles. The Greek divine hero, Heracles, killed the eagle and broke the chains, freeing Prometheus from his eternal torment. Now, who sent Heracles? It's for you to decide.